There's many moments in life where we go through stress and adversity, and we end up entering into these periods of just focused work and efficiency. This is known as our fight or flight response, and since the dawn of creation, this has been a feature of the human experience. When our hearts get broken, when we go through a job loss, when something bad happens in our life, it's often accompanied by this motivation for change. Your body is literally telling you, I never want to experience this again. And so it assumes the responsibilities that are necessary for that change. So your vision narrows, and everything that is unrelated to this cause now becomes unimportant as your mind and as your body are becoming acclimated to this new identity. There's an awakening of oneself. However, over time, just due to our human nature, for whatever reason, we get comfortable. The work and the effort that we put into this new reality has now provided us a cushion of safety. The mind is no longer interpreting the present moment as a threat, right? It's like there becomes a loss in momentum. And so you start skipping the gym. You're not taking your business as seriously as you should. You become lax in your diet. You start eating seed oils. My goal with this is not to give you guys tips and tricks for how to get out of the bed in the morning, just other cheesy motivational nonsense. It's I just want to give you guys the Cliff Notes version of the playbook of flow state, so that way you guys can understand it better and apply it to your life. So let's begin. Let's first define what flow state means. So it all starts with this guy named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. This was a psychologist from the 70s who began researching flow after becoming fascinated by artists who would essentially get lost in their work. He would describe this state as the optimal experience. When I was doing research, I also came across the word wu wei, which is a Japanese word that literally means effortless action. This is the OG of the phrase that we hear a lot, locked in. Now, within flow state, there are three elements, ingredients that allow it to exist. First one is control. Do you have power over your mind, or do your vices control you? Immediate gratification is the enemy to flow state, so you must have the ability to put aside distraction. And just a side note here as well, guys, don't measure yourself based on productivity. I hate that metric. It's like our whole life, right? We've been given scorecards. We pass a test, we fail a test. We've been conditioned to assess the quality of our performance based mostly off of memory, which is just horrible on so many levels. So get rid of scorecards. Don't measure yourself on your perceived interpretation of productivity. It's not a good metric. Instead, ask yourself, it's do I dictate my own actions? Do I have control over my mind? Am I present in this moment right now? And if all you take away from this video is this one thing, then great, dude. Half of flow state, guys, is literally just having awareness. It's being conscious of what you're doing. Because here's the problem, man. We try to control things that we can't control because we think that in controlling these things, it will somehow grant us a sense of release from this nagging feeling of feeling like we're never doing enough or that we're never good enough. We don't trust that who we are in this moment, irrespective of what is taking place around us, is actually the only thing that is needed. And so this is the difference between being versus doing, right? It's two totally different energy dynamics. This becomes a hell of a lot easier for sure when you like what you're doing, but also when you like who you are doing the thing that you like doing, right? So the second element is concentrated focus. I call this one environment optimization. And this is not rocket science, right? It's the key here is to create a space, whether that is an office, a coffee shop, a walk in solitude, where there are no distractions. Our default state is innovation, it's ingenuity, it is brilliance. The reason that we can't get into that state is because we have so many freaking distractions around us, dude. But it's if you just learn to quiet the voices, if you learn to silence the noise that is taking place around you, this comes naturally to you. You have to understand that. In true flow state, time ceases to exist because attention shifts from self to experience. The effects of time obviously stay the same, but the awareness of it goes away. And so this is called time distortion. And this shows up in one of two ways. So either time compression, this is when time moves faster than usual. It's looking down at your clock, what is that called? A watch. And you feel like 10 minutes goes by, but then you look back at your watch and it's like 4 p.m. Where did the time go? And so that is what's happening right here. That is time compression. And so this often occurs when the activity is highly stimulating, highly enjoyable. And so the second one is time expansion. This is when things begin to move much slower than usual. And not to suggest here that the activity is unenjoyable, but it usually requires quick decision making, rapid focus, a lot of maybe change in direction of whatever's keeping your mind occupied. So why does this occur? Well, it's very simple. Flow state reflects how our brains prioritize the task at hand, thus altering our perception of time. Time dilation becomes a byproduct of the exertion of thought that is challenging enough to engage you, yet not so difficult to make it seem easy or to leave you in boredom. The last element is vision. Knowing what you are working towards and why you are working towards it is the most important factor in flow state, and really for anything in that matter in life. One of my favorite books of all time is this book written by Tom Fazio. It's called In Pursuit of Weightlessness. And he says in his book, for every individual that recognizes the tremendous value of health, fitness, and mind-body unity, there are hundreds who cannot see beyond the compulsion to seek immediate comfort and security. The Bible tells us that people perish for lack of vision. And unfortunately, the system's broken, man. You have so many people telling you what you should do and who you should be, and you have no room left to do what you want to do. And I think right here is like the main problem for those that are struggling, that are stuck in this place between risk and comfort, is that even if you do decide to make that leap of faith, if you do decide to take that risk, there's hardly anybody there supporting that decision, right? The vision must be created by you, and the support, the community must be actively sought after. And as the name suggests, flow state, guys, it's a river, it is a flow, it's a current that is moving in one direction. Your responsibility, your challenge is to position yourself into the direction of that current. If you guys like this video, please consider subscribing, leave a like, it helps me out. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.